Happy Sunday, you beautiful people, and have I a treat for you today. I'm going to British Columbia, Canada to meet incredible artist, incredible musician, the amazing Sail Cassady. But you know what? I think we should go and check a little bit of him out and his band out in action now. What do you think?
Leather shoelace, climbing through the moss, knowing that I walk, shouting at the moon, pressed against a tree. Standing there like wolves, bathing in the silver light, lost in lost in me, lost in against the tree. Tom Robbins and some crocus tea. Read page 23. Remember what it said. He was such a dream. This hieroglyphic face. Standing there like wolves, bathing in the silver light, lost in you.
Know what the time is? I know you want to meet Sal Cassady, but you're going to have to wait a couple of seconds because it's time for a super quick Jaden Show commercial break. You ready to meet today's incredibly wonderful special guest? Please put your hands together. I want to hear it. So do it loudly. Please put your hands together and welcome to the Jaden Show, the amazing, the incredibly talented Sail Cassady. The amazingly talented, beautiful vocals of Sail Cassady. Welcome to the Jaden Show. How are you, young man?
I'm very well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm very honored.
Oh, it's so lovely to meet you. Now, like I said earlier before we started recording the chat, that I've been kind of stalking you a bit internetally all morning, and I've been listening to loads of your stuff. Your voice is beautiful, mate, and your material is really, really cool. So
thank you.
No, thank you for sharing it. But I want to take you back to like little Chico Cassady, right? Back in the day. What was going on around you, kind of in your family home or in your growing up environment musically, that kind of started the flavors that Sal Cassady is today?
Thank you so much. Well, I'm from Victoria, British Columbia, and I was raised on like a little farm just on this island called Vancouver Island. And when I was young, it was pretty sprawling, so there wasn't really much to do. And I lived with my grandmother, and she had a very old piano, and I just literally would sit there and lay my face on the keys whenever I was feeling emotional or like depressed, and this is just when I was like a young little boy. And I realized that music more or less chose me rather than me choosing it, because I didn't look at the piano and go, I want to learn how to play, Beethoven or anything. Instead, it was how it made me feel.
Like your comforter.
It was.
Yeah,
and I would just love the feeling and the sound of the keys. And so I was thrown into piano lessons, and I spent the first 15 years immersed in classical and jazz piano, and no singing, just piano. And my whole life was destined to be a piano player, and not only just that, but a composer. And I never thought about singing in any regard. And I didn't even like rock and roll as a kid. I thought it was the devil's music, because I was raised in a very right-wing Christian family when I was a little boy. I wouldn't say right-wing, but it was just super Christian and strange.
Yeah.
And I'm not like that. Yeah, I'm not like that anymore, but it was like, church and stuff, and playing pianos in churches and all that. And so when it all started basically with just me infatuated by the way that music made me feel and the escapism related to it. But the idea of performing, the idea of putting it on display, horrified me as a child. I was terrified of it. I didn't ever want to play for anybody. I just wanted to keep it all to myself. So that's kind of where it began. And
Is it
then
because of shyness, or it just or like protection? You just wanted it for you because that was kind of your therapy, or
that's
because
right.
or because you was a really shy, insecure kid? What was, or
I
both?
was shy and insecure, but I was also incredibly, how do I put it? I never thought I was good enough to do what people I saw. Like, I listened to classical music mostly as a child, and so I was like, I could never be, Chopin, or I could never be, Schubert or whatever. And so for myself, I was just more immersed in it, and rather than trying to broadcast it out of myself, I would sort of hide in it and exist within it, and hopefully not be seen or discovered.
Right.
but but I would write my own music, like, and I don't like to brag, but I was just prolific at my own music for writing as a child. Like, I had teachers come in and transcribe onto tablature for me, or notation for me, and then I would I would sit and play the piano, and I'd have teachers come in and just ask me to play, and they'd write the music, and then they'd
Wow.
submit it somewhere, and I would just not really care or know where it was going. And I was digging through some old boxes, and I actually found a stack of some of that stuff from my childhood, and I realized that they were sending it to, like, publishers and music.
Really?
Yeah, and I didn't really know what it was all for. I just found these old school, like, shipping labels that were, like, clipped to sheet music that I'd written. So it was, I don't know, that there was an interest in me early on, in that realm, and I had no idea or any interest in why.
Wow. Amazing, man. Let's
Hmm.
hope it wasn't all published and your ex teachers are making a mint off the back.
Well, that's what I wonder. I was like, what are you guys doing? Like, where's my check?
You need to
But
be
I didn't.
hunting those people down on Facebook, mate. Find out.
I should. I should. I mean, I do know a couple of the names. So one's dead. So I don't know how that's going to work. But the other one, I don't know. I don't
There's
know if they're
always a
still
way.
kicking.
And what age was you at this point? I mean, was you like 6 or 7, 12, 13?
Yeah,
What was
it
it?
started around 6, like,
Wow, crazy.
and then I was 8 years old when I started writing my own. And then when I got to about 12, I started getting very involved in that world, writing piano for all kinds of events, people, situations. I had rap groups hitting me up as a 13, 14-year old to write, like, to help them create beats. And before I knew it, I was just, people were asking me to create piano bits for them and for any scenario possible.
Wow, mate. So you had no choice, mate. I mean, it's music
No,
or die, really, isn't it? I mean, like, you were completely the chosen one as far as
that's it.
music is concerned.
Much to my chagrin, because I don't hate it as much now, and I shouldn't say the word hate now because I don't hate it now, but I did as a as a young man. I hated performing live, but I had to do it all the time.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I get you. It's the worst part of music for me.
it really is.
Now, because I'm in my 50s, so I kind of got just, if it's a new environment and something I don't know, then I will probably be a grumpy, depressive shit that day. Maybe the
Yes.
day before. Like, I don't want to talk. I just want to go and do it. And why am I doing it? Why am I doing it? Who am I trying? Like, I go through this whole that I used to 30 years ago when I started. I still do it, but then, like, now I get to a stage, I could be halfway through a song. If I'm comfortable in the environment, I can be halfway through a song and think, I don't know, I'm not fucking feeling this. I just stop it
Oh, wow.
and say, right, I'm sorry. If I'm not feeling it, you ain't going to like it. Let's do this one.
Ah, I love that.
So now I don't I mean, I care because, actually, but I probably care more now, but not what people think. Like, now I just care, like, well, if I'm just doing this for, like, conveyor belt shit, it's just,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I'm too old now. So I would
Yeah.
rather, let's sing ABBA. Let's do that.
I feel that. I feel that's a great analogy. The idea of the conveyor belt, for sure.
Yeah, not doing it for the sake of it. So, but that was amazing. Like, it's at such a young age that you were you making money? Was this kind of a little bit of extra pocket money for you?
Sometimes, like when I was a kid, I'd be asked to perform at dinner parties a lot by random, because I went to private school as a little boy, out in the area, and some of the parents were a little more wealthy. I wasn't part of that class, but some of the parents were. And so I'd get invited I'd be kind of like a show pony for them. Like this kid who's only 9 or 10 comes in dressed up to the nines, and then he sits at the piano and literally serenades. But I wouldn't play live anything that was already written. So I would literally play maybe 5 or 6 songs, or not songs, pieces of music that I had created, and then I would just go create on the spot. And it's something I still do to this day, and I'm kind of known for the live, is I'll show up to a gig with nothing, and I'll make up an entire set on the spot, singing and playing. And the same thing happens for when I was a kid on the piano.
I want to be like you when I grow down.
Well, I'll tell you, it's on this side of things. It's definitely you feel like an imposter.
Really? Well, I guess all the geniuses do, right?
Yeah, and the other side of it too is that I'm around the most talented musicians that I've met, and in my band even, and I couldn't compare to them in terms of musicality, but I just have this ability to channel music, and that's all I can do. Some of the music,
I probably think the same about you, mate.
Well, the thing is,
flows through. It just fucking flows. He's not trained or nothing. It just flows.
And that's like the weird thing about it is some of it I can't even I don't know where it comes from, or maybe it's just the years of storing that music in my brain as a child. But when it's like leaching out bit by bit, and it feels like I'm not even quite talented enough to even put it out there. Man. So I do my best to at least come up with a compromise with whatever or whomever or myself for when I write it and put it out there.
Can I ask you a very personal question? How old are you now?
I'm 41.
So you're 41 and you've been kind of channeling music since the age of 6 or 7?
Yes.
I think it's time you stop asking.
Yeah, I know.
And just allow yourself to be the channel that you are, because that's a blessing and 3/4, mate.
Yeah, it's been you're very correct on that. I think there will be a day. I always look forward to the day when I can start being really I want to be more grateful for this ability, because I used to see it as a hindrance, and I know a lot of people are going to rip their eyes out when they hear this, but I felt like I didn't want that responsibility, and I didn't want to be that person. And I didn't want the attention from it either. And so as it started as a young age, like I said, where people were coming to me asking me to do all these things, and as I've sort of carried on through my life, I've tried to make a go at music numerous times, and I've been very happy with what's come out of it. But I've always really struggled with being a musician and creating music, and it's a thing that I love it. I love music. I'm obsessed with it, but I feel like I was accidentally picked out in a line before I was born, and they were supposed to pick this other guy or girl, and suddenly they're like, "Oh, you'll do," and then I'm like, "What? No, I didn't ask for this."
No, I kind of really believe that there are no accidents in the universe. That
no,
and also it's quite interesting because obviously completely different subjects to a certain degree. But I've had chats with mediums and stuff like that who were kind of I just didn't want to hear voices. I didn't want to have conversations, and it's almost a replication of the conversation I had with them. But with you, it's musical notes, and that whole it's channeling. And for me, creativity is spirit. It's not part of who we are mentally. It's part of who we are spiritually. It's part of our core makeup. So you just happen to be one of those very blessed few that don't have a lid that flaps on it.
Yeah, and it's true. Have you ever heard of the channeler? He's all over the place. He's been around a long time, and he's known as Bashar.
Oh, yes, of course, I love Bashar. Well, yeah, I'm hearing some kind of stuff anti-Bashar now, which is kind of... But I do, what's his name? Something...
I can't remember his name.
Oh, my God. He's got a name that reminds me of an old rock and roll singer. Paul Anka. No, David Anka, one of them.
Right, it's something along those lines. Yeah. Well, I thought when I first saw Bashar online, really had a hard time wrapping my head around the entity he was channeling. Not that I'm against it or that
No,
I don't believe it, but I just struggled with that part of it. But his advice was really always
spot
really
on.
beautiful.
Yeah,
I love
spot.
it.
Yeah.
And one time someone asked him what if the alien that he was channeling wasn't real? And I was expecting him to get like defensive and say, "Oh, he is real," and all these things. And what he answered was, he said, "He might not be. He
Mhm.
may not be real. It might just be part of my consciousness, and it's a way for me to broadcast this message."
Yeah.
And so I like that concept that he was able to be so like, I don't know how to describe it, but he was able to actually
Authentic
entertain
with it,
the
wasn't
idea.
he? Yeah.
Yeah, and entertain the idea that this alien wasn't actually a real thing, and that it was some like a vessel or a tool for him to broadcast these beautiful ideas. And so with music, I want to be able to appreciate the way that he appreciates putting it out there. But in a sense, with music, it's a weird feeling, and I'm really not trying to toot my horn here, but it's already there.
Mhm.
It's not a thing that I have to create. It's just a thing that's already there.
Yeah.
And I walk through the hallways of my mind, and I pull a drawer and I open it
They're
up, and
waiting.
there's something in there.
That's the same for all of us. For all
Mm-hmm.
of us, with our spirituality, with our creativity, because it's part of our core belief. But
That's it.
we close that drawer and then we move the furniture into the back room and put a new kind of drawerless TV stand there, and so we fuck around too much, mainly with what our essential elements are. But you
Mm-hmm.
haven't with that because it's been something that's been your comforter through your whole history, So
It
for
has.
you, it's just like, I used to teach psychic awareness and meditation. I'm not psychic, you know.
Right.
I've a couple of
Right.
times found out things, I've said things, no idea where they came from, no idea how I got this picture, and it was completely spot on. But it wasn't me, it was something, I don't know what I did or what situation I was in to be a channel at that particular time, because I know I was in a really shitty ass mood and was really pissed off. But I
Wow.
was spot on. But I couldn't do it now. I couldn't go and get someone, and tell them about their Auntie Flo tomorrow. Like, it wouldn't happen.
Right.
But
Right.
because I put so many other life things on top of that, whereas that has been your main constant, and so
Mm-hmm.
it's always
Mm-hmm.
remained open. It's wonderful, mate. It's something. Yeah, I
Thank
can
you.
understand how you feel, but also what a blessing. That's what you've got naturally is what we all strive for. Clearing away all the calcite that's clogged those pipes, and
Yeah.
trying to
Well,
get what you've got.
one of the things that's also, and I really appreciate what you're saying, and it really means a lot, and I thank you for that. And there's also another side to it, though, that's also a little more malevolent, because there's parts of it, it feels like, well, it doesn't feel like, I know this now. So there's this weird contract where if I don't create for enough, like if enough time goes by that I don't create, it actually does catastrophic things to my mental health and my
Oh,
body.
absolutely, because you're a channel.
Yeah, and so if I'm not constantly outputting, I've become severely depressed,
Yeah.
or I go manic. I've been diagnosed with bipolar and a few other, you know, I call them superpowers,
Mhm.
but I've been diagnosed with these conditions, and doctors will call it, a mental health thing. But for me, it's a weird realization that if I don't abide by what I was born to do, then I start to crumble,
Of
and
course.
I stop being I stop existing as who I meant to be. And I've been hospitalized over it.
Wow.
I've been in the hospital before due to it. And if I don't, and like, for instance, I had a really bad drug problem back about 10 years ago. And one of the issues is that even overuse of drugs was getting in the way of my output. And anytime I'd put it out there with the lens of high intoxication, it was only coming out in drips rather than,
Getting
and,
out of
and,
the system, yeah.
and so it would get really backed up, and it would just kind of, come out in the most, like, really just not healthy ways. And so, like I was like I would end up performing on stage. I wouldn't like my whole band would be so rehearsed, we'd be ready to go, and I would literally be on stage just mumbling nonsense, being like I was possessed, and I would lose the microphones often. I wouldn't know where my microphone on stage was, so I was whipping it around, and like I used to like to wrap it around my neck and like pull it and like do really so I was in a heavier style before called Man-Made Lake.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where I would just run off stage and disappear and end up in the mental institute after performing.
Oh, mate.
And so it was a thing where I had to really focus on getting myself back and allowing for this channeling aspect to flow at a natural rate, or else if I don't, it builds up again and I end up being in a very bad place. So I almost feel like I'm not I have to do this rather than want to.
Yeah. But you do enjoy it, you do want to on some level as well, right?
Yes, and I do love the feeling of it.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see what I like a psychic medium would say about that. Actually, be interesting to see, because it's a different form of channeling, and how to healthily switch on and switch off. I've suffered mental health all my life, and have stopped singing like when everything went wrong with my management and career and stuff like that, and it just became I stopped because I just thought being normal would help me. And I don't know who I am without that. And and even now, like even when I couldn't sing, I have to be doing something creative. That's why I have 7 different shows on my channel, because and God forbid, like you do have to go for an emergency hospital appointment. Well, I can't on Tuesday because I've got a show at 11, but I can go on Tuesday at 4. So I've never ended up in a mental hospital. I've never used drugs, and I've always I'm Piscean, so I'm kind of used to living in my head, and I'm definitely not a channel. I'm a creative, but I'm definitely not a channel. But yeah, I think it's because I don't even know how to explain it. It's kind of Abraham and Esther and Jerry Hicks, Abraham Hicks. It's kind of like when you're in that I don't know if they call it the escrew, but when you're being who you are deemed to be, nothing else is going to have a positive effect with it. So when you try to not use it how you meant to use it, or when you're going off that path on whatever level, there's going to be detriment to that, rather than just embracing your gift or your talent and just going with that beautiful flow of creation. That's the beautiful side of it. But it would be interesting. I think you should have a chat with. I'd really be interested to hear what they say, actually, just about how you learn to take control of your gift rather than your gift controlling you. I think
that's really beautifully said, and I appreciate that. And one of the things that I have a good example of this is one of my early guitar players was a creative, so he could write beautiful music, he could play the guitar like no one's business, and he was an incredible person, but he could just also shut off and not do music for like 5 years, and he'd be onto something else and it would be fine, and there would be no sort of contractual deal with the mother, the universe, where what's interesting is I've dragged friends, family, people along this musical journey in and out of my life, and a lot of them have joined me for the ride, and a lot of them have been around for the different times, and now I'm 41 and I still have the odd one that's still here, but it feels more like a ship that they've all hopped on. And they're liking doing it, but it's a thing where I just know now at this age of 41 that I'm never going to be able to stop. And so, and here's another strange thing about channeling is the music is that it's not the same. It doesn't feel like the same same. I don't know. I have a hard time saying entity, but the same energy, because I'm a genre smasher. I work in all genres. I can't create a record that's just one thing. I've tried.
But genre is a human created pigeonhole. Your music doesn't have a pigeonhole. It just
No.
creates and is. So yeah, absolutely. I think there has to be a way. I mean, even when you said, and my friend just stopped for 5 years, I lost my breath for that 1 second that you even said that. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't imagine, like,
No.
not imagine not being able to do some. I mean, music, as long as I can, I mean, as long as I can sing here,
Yeah.
I'm exercising that demon.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If I lost my voice, I don't know what the bloody hell I would do, to be fair. However, if I can't perform, and I don't like performing, which is the weird. I love a camera because the camera is it only shows what it sees. There is no bullshit.
Right.
Being an audience of 5 judges at an event, and it is the worst experience. It is traumatic for me because, you know, I'm singing something and they don't like that particular genre, or he only likes women singers, or she's, you know, I remind her of her ex-boyfriend and she don't like me, you know, like, so humans are very mixy and it's all very nasty. But when you have the pureness of energy, and a camera is just basically a channel for that as well. Unlike Madonna in front of a camera, put me in front of 4 or 5 people and I just want to sit on a stool and just sing. That's what I want to do.
Yeah. Wow. That's so beautiful.
I kind of get that as well, but there has to be a way for you to be able to celebrate. I couldn't imagine not. I don't think I would even be Jaden without any form of release of creativity. That's why I have 7 shows. I sing 4 nights a week. I do dog grooming, which is not. I don't class it as creative, but I guess on some level it is creative.
Absolutely.
And then in my spare time, I work 6 days a week. In my spare time, I do these shows and write children's books. And when I'm not doing that, I need to start learning an instrument. This is my plan for next year. Or I'm developing and doing gardening. So there has to be something pretty much until I fall on my arse about 9 o'clock at night to watch something that someone else has created on Netflix. And I can get lost in Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or something fantasy that's really amazing. That's the only time I shut up.
Yeah, I love that.
So I get where you're at. But if I don't do that, my depression is harsh, mate. Because I don't know who I am without it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I get
That's
it.
so beautiful. And I love that you have so many incredible outlets that you're, you know, brave enough to even, you know, embody, like just the idea that you're living where you're living and just that you've taken on the new world from being in London and the whole nines, you know. I mean, I lived abroad. I lived in China for 2 years and I was a teacher there. And I also started my rock and roll band over there. And I toured China and got signed to a record label there and was in the punk rock music scene of China. And it was a thing where it took a lot of like inner motivation to actually get myself to go there and do that in such a foreign place that there's no English. Yeah. There's no anything. And so when I hear your story, I think it's really it gives me back that excitement to maybe one day take on such a, you know, brave perspective and change a perspective as well.
I think, I mean, what I kind of sense from the way you're saying is like you're always kind of say your music end of. I mean, there is no other, you know, way to describe it. Your music, and I don't think you even need to be brave by doing it. I just think you need to be you wherever you are, wherever you end up, whatever your future path is, and just be the creative that you are. Like, you know, it's just like for me, I don't even class myself as brave. I just class myself as I have to find Jaden wherever I end up.
I love that.
And, you know, and so, you know, my London Jaden is very, very different from my Mexican Jaden. And when it was too extreme from Mexican Jaden, it was the darkest, most traumatic part of my life. So I had to find a place that I could go with 23 rescue animals, that I could start to find traces of old Jaden enough to be able to recognize who I am, but to feel safe, in order to also start creating a little bit of a different Jaden. Now, so where I live, there's very, very little English. My Spanish is all right, thanks to Duolingo, but it's not great. And even where I live, in the communities where I live, they don't even speak Spanish. They speak their indigenous language. Wow. So a lot of people my age and above don't understand Spanish, and I don't. It's called Totsil. So now I'm trying to get a few words of Totsilin as well. So I'm just kind of I'm almost like a bit I don't know. It's like a shapeshifter, but you always recognise Jaden within that. You know that new bastard's Jaden because I have to keep, I have to keep some things that kind of just keep me connected to who I am. I'm also a little bit on the autistic spectrum, so there are certain traits that I need to have that keep me grounded enough. I think when I lived in the Caribbean side, there was nothing even slightly reminiscent of who I was for my first 42 years of life. There wasn't an insect, a flower, a scent of the air, a bird that reminded me of my first 42 years of England. It was completely, it was like being incarcerated on a very hot Spanish holiday for the rest of my life, and I hated it.
Wow.
And I'm Piscean, so I'm water element. I'm living above running water, cenotes streams. I'm 5 kilometers from the sea, and I just think it was too chaotic for me. I live on the side of a mountain, and I do not think you can get more grounded than a fucking mountain, to be fair.
Oh, yeah.
So now I'm Piscean, I'm living in oak and pine forest on the side of a mountain. I don't have any I was even getting I always thought like problems with full moons and stuff was just a load of bloody hippie women going a little bit crazy, and I was like, when I lived in Quintana Roo, like I would be like, fuck, I am so depressed, like I cannot even describe the darkness of my depression, and I don't know why. Like nothing's gone wrong, and then that night I walk out to feed a dog or feed the fish or whatever, and it's like it's fucking full moon. Like it really physically, emotionally affected me on a level. Since I've been here, which is a year and a bit, I was like, oh my God, it's new moon, how beautiful. Like it doesn't even affect me now. Really bizarre, really. And it wasn't like a hippie kind of magical shit that I was putting myself through. It was a physical phenomenon that, affected me. So I think getting the right place for you to be grounded is really important. Really.
I agree with that.
And, I agree with that. And then allowing yourself to know that that you're totally in control of your channeling, and they've got to obey you and your bloody orders, mate.
I like that a lot. I think that's a really powerful thing right there. Yeah. No, I appreciate that.
But no, you're always going to be music. So yeah, unfortunately, this time around, you've got to put up and shut up on some level.
I do. I know.
There are ways you can control and sort it and claim your power back from it. Realize that actually you're channeling it. It's not channeling you.
I love that. I love that. And it's nice to hear that from you. Thank you so much, because I don't talk about this much with people because I'm always worried that they're going to be like, okay, Colin, whatever you say, big guy.
Mate, sod 'em all. And this is the thing, for me, people don't understand my quirks and my intricacies. So I'm on the autistic spectrum, so transitions are very hard for me. Doing things unplanned is very difficult for me. I have to kind of be pretty much, I will get excited like a 7-year-old girl when it comes to Harry Potter and Christmas. Do you know what I mean? So it's still like this, and people are like, are you not going to fucking grow up, Jaden? I'm like, no, I'm going to get another Harry Potter tattoo because I love Harry Potter, and my house is called Hogwarts, and I don't give a shit. Like, I'm 52,
I love that.
And you don't like it. This is how I'm embracing my core, my authenticity for all its dark and light parts now, and it's just making me feel like I'm way over halfway. I'm not going to live until 106. I mean, that's not going to happen, even if I'm really, really blessed. So, I don't want to be like beating my own shit about things that I should be. I said to my mum, like, what point am I meant to adult? Like, when do I grow up?
Yeah.
She, darling, you're 48. Like, she goes, you're going to grow old. This is impossible. But if you ain't done it now, darling, you ain't going to do it. No. Just enjoy the fact that you're still, oh my God, it's Christmas. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I have to show you this, actually. Even my friends, they're both in their 60s, 70s. They were like, go and check at that. When you get to the hotel to sing, go and check at that hotel. We've sent you something. And I was like, oh my God, are you going to be there? I went, no, but it's the second best thing. And they sent me an advent calendar. And I was like, oh, fuck, man. This is how we are rolling. Christmas is now on.
I love that so much.
So
I love that.
I embrace my weirdness and my intricacies now. So, and you're phenomenally talented. Like, you are the perfect person to have been chosen for that gift. You just have to allow yourself to be the perfect person for that gift now.
Thank you so much, and that's really beautiful advice, and I really appreciate that because I
But let's
don't.
go back to your gift because I want to talk more about this.
Yeah, of course.
You kind of you said that you were basically being pimped out by people to sing at events.
Yeah.
Amazing way. I was doing paper rounds while you were kind of playing in the Mozart. So bloody wonderful, mate. So
Thanks.
what's been happening? You said obviously you told us about the rock band in China and stuff like that, the punk band. This is super super cool. When did you start becoming Sale Cassady? Like when did those flavors, the artists that you are now that you're promoting now, when did they kind of come into play in your existence?
They came into. Thank you. Good. It's a good question. They actually came into. So Sel Cassady started becoming. It started as a solo project because I was in that band Man Made Lake, and I was the songwriter for Man Made Lake as well. But I had a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and they had these big ideas of making it big, right? And so we talked a little bit about how I didn't have like if I suppress anything musically, it affects me in a really negative way.
Right.
And I felt like with Man Made Lake, I was constantly suppressing everything to fit into this idea of being famous. And so it got to a point where my managers and my producers and everybody were constantly hearing a new idea that I'd have. And they'd go, nah, I don't know if that's going to work for the radio. Nah, I don't know if that's going to work for a movie. I don't know. And so I was sort of feeling like I was like constantly shutting down so many parts of myself to, make it for them. So eventually I just said, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah.
And I took on my Sale Cassady project, which I made a promise to myself that I was going to completely allow whatever comes out come out.
Wonderful.
And I've been doing that now for I think almost 10 years. And I think Sailcast, I'm really obsessed with beat culture. I love beatnik writing and poetry and books and Kerouac, Ginsberg, Carr. There's just so many beats. And Cassady comes from Neil Cassady, who is a huge inspiration to the beats. And he never wrote anything. He never actually created any prolific works. But what he would do is he would travel with Ken Kesey and the Merry Pranksters, and he would rap basically. And this is the 1950s, you see, in 60s and 70s even. And he would literally just not rap like the way that we traditionally think of it, but he would just go on these long raps about the world and consciousness, the universe, with like the Grateful Dead playing in the background for real, like the real band.
Yeah.
And then a big screen of tie-dye colors and everything. And he'd be wearing like a robe, high on acid or some other hallucinogenic. And all of the beats, like Ginsberg, Kerouac, and all of them would sit there and be like, what in the hell? Like this guy's like, he's channeling this spirit and he's just putting it out there. And so all these books were written about him or based on him or inspired by him. And that truly created a movement and an entire genre. And he had no works to rely. Like you can't go and get a Neil Cassady book that he wrote easily. I mean, I've never heard of one, but you can hear his influence through all of these people's works. So I was obsessed with that concept and that idea. Now he had his problem. He was problematic for a lot of good reason too. I don't. People that know really well about that know about him know that he was a very abusive person, and he had a lot of qualities that would not be okay today, and understandably. But I don't. That stuff to the side. I just love the idea of channeling, and I love the idea that he could inspire an entire generation of artists who weren't doing the bad things that he did, but like they were able to embody that. And and I'm also I'm also part of the queer community here, and he also embodied parts of that as well. And he inspired queer artists in the 50s to come out and completely be who they are. Like you think of Allen Ginsberg, and you think how prolific he was, and his not only just his works, but his advocation for it all, and his willingness to be so risque at the time, and yet it was so inspired by Neil, and so it was a beautiful thing. And so Sail Cassady came out of that place of feeling like I couldn't be myself because I didn't get raised in a family where I could be fully honest about my sexuality. And so it was a thing where I also felt like I had to hide. And when it came out that these beatniks were dressed in black suits, smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee with morphine in it or opium in it, and writing and being complete lunatics, also practicing Buddhism, meditation,
Right.
hopping trains with no food and a bottle of wine, and that's it. Writing books like On the Road or Dharma Bums, Kerouac, I'm talking of. I was like, look what this apparent depravity, which of course it's not, but it was seen that way in their world as much as it was seen that way in mine. And I could be a firecracker in a place that was used to chaos.
Right.
And I could, imprint myself in some way, even though I was closeted. I could sing about my experiences in my music, and nobody knew.
Right.
I'd talk about how I go out with my friends because I'm considered pansexual. So I've dated, I've been in heterosexual relationships, and I've been in like same sex relationships and with trans relationships too. And so what's amazing about that is that I was able to sing about those experiences in my music, especially through Sail Cassady,
Right.
because I didn't have a producer being like, oh, I don't know if that's a good topic or a good hook or a good this or that. So Sail Cassady was like a vessel for me to not only be open about my channeling and my experience, but also my sexuality, my belief systems, and who I am as a person. So it was really just a coming home rather than an exploration of who I wasn't
Right.
or what I wanted to be.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing, man.
Mm.
I guess you've already
Thank you.
found your outlet.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this is why maybe things aren't as dark now, because you have that way of not having to fit into society, music society norms now.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't feel like a puppet anymore like I did in the other band.
I
I
remember
literally felt like I had strings on me sometimes,
that's the industry, isn't it? I mean, I remember like when we were signed, my group was signed in the 90s, like, and we wanted to introduce an instrument that wasn't classed as, pop or R&B, and it was like, you can't do that. Like,
No.
want that flavor. And 10 years ago, you wouldn't have allowed a saxophone until Kenny G done something with Babyface and Tony Braxton. So,
Right.
that would have been a jazz influence. So why can we not do this? Well, you can't.
Yeah.
And now I found that very difficult. I just thought I'm just singing for the sake of singing, and I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed the video shoots and the photo shoots and the dressing up and running around and dancing on stage with my friends, and that was all cool. But the music side of it was actually like, oh, I don't like it, but I'll do my best and put it out. And
Yeah.
and then I think even like what you'd done, what you had did 10 years ago, is kind of what happened to a lot of artists during COVID, where all of a sudden it was like, you're fucked, mate, if you're an artist. So
Yeah.
you just have to do what you enjoy. So,
Yeah.
one of the Canadian tenors was going off to London to do, a version of The Winner Takes It All by ABBA. And, it's like, we were then, everything was kind of just getting, music was just music. People were just, like I said, I was singing Nessun Dorma and I was singing Hallucinating by Dua Lipa in the same set. I always make a joke, like I say, you're never going to get a short, fat, tattooed English boy anywhere else in Mexico singing Tina Turner, Jose, Mariachi, Dua Lipa, and Olivia Rodriguez. It ain't going to happen anywhere, probably not in the world, but it definitely ain't going to happen in Mexico, because now, almost at the boundaries, but I always sound like Jaden. I know how to play with my voice. I'm not going to sing Nessun Dorma the same as I'm going to sing Dua Lipa, but, it's your voice is an instrument as well, so you can play and twerk that a little bit, so it's going to fit an R&B song, it's going to fit a pop song, it's now going to fit a reggae song, and now I'm going to sing an opera track. And, but I'm always Jaden Cornelius. And I think, like since the whole COVID thing, I think it's funny, like all these things that are not natural, the whole pigeonholing, the whole you can be, you can't be, the whole discrimination about loads of stuff is now everything is just on some level subconsciously becoming a lot freer. Like, I'm a child of that. You know, I was born in the 70s. You weren't even allowed to look in the direction of another male pop star in the 90s.
No,
One
no.
camera, paparazzi of you at a premiere doing that to the lead singer of that other pop band, and now you're gay.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I remember giving my friend a hug when I saw him. He was in a pop band, and I was like, "Oh, mate!" I gave him a hug. The fear and panic on that boy's face was off the scale. One
Wow.
photo of me hugging him. I wasn't out gay. I mean, in all honesty, for me, my sexuality has never played an important role. I just am what I am.
Yeah, I love that.
You know, I prefer guys. I don't find women sexually attractive at all. Like, it's not something I could do. I'd even want to do. I find my emotional and spiritual and sexual attraction is with a guy, not with a girl. But I remember I went to the States many years ago, and I was on an LGBT, I think it was just that at the time, radio show, and they were like, "Oh, so Jaden, you're like a queer artist from the UK." I'm like, "No, I'm just an artist from the UK."
Yeah,
Queer.
I love that.
Like, no, I'm not queer. In England, queer means unwell, so I don't like that term anyway. But I'm a gay man, but I'm just an artist. Like, I don't give any shit while I'm singing, so it's really not important, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Yeah.
you obviously support your local gay community. I said, well, I do loads of it. I support my community, irrespective of their sexuality, age,
Yeah.
you know, orientation, whatever. I said, so I'm very supportive of, you know, my community. Well, you obviously go to gay pride. I'm like, in all honesty, I'm not good around loads and loads of people. So I wouldn't go to gay pride, like, not even if I had the day off. Like, it wouldn't be a thing. And if it was straight pride or if it was a carnival, I still wouldn't do it. It's not something I would enjoy and would feel comfortable around. But if I'm asked to sing and there's a back route to the main stage where it's quite quiet and less chaotic, because of my autism, it's a bit less sensory, I will go and sing. Yeah, absolutely. And they're like, oh my God, you're such a bad gay. And I went, well, I said, to be honest, when you're going home at 3 o'clock in the morning with your next cock, I'm still on stage singing, raising money for someone who can't afford treatment for AIDS and for cancer, and I'm paying for their second bout of chemo. So I might be a bad gay, but I think as a human, I'm all right. That was Jaden Cornelious, the gay artist from the UK. I was like, mate, this is like, you're just doing now to us what you've been complaining the church has been doing to you now. It's just like, fuck off, man. In fact, I went out with a guy many years ago who I met him, he was straight, he fell in love with me. We were together for 3 years, and one of my friends went up to him and said, "I'll see you gay now." He went, "No." "But you're with Jaden." "Yeah." He goes, "I'm Jay now." He goes, "This is the boy I'm in love with." He said, "I don't know what's coming after this, if something's coming with it, but at the moment, I'm just Jay." He goes, "I'm just with him, and I'm committed to him. He's like, he's got my heart and everything." So, and I thought that was really cool. Like, that
was cool.
You just, I think we just need to exist, and we need to be a human community without pigeonholing, labeling, discrimination. I'm just me, and my wrongs and my rights and my colors and my flavors and my stupid decisions and my wonderful creations, I'm just Jaden, and I should be able to, you know, you're still my brother, you're still my family, because you are still just being you, not for any other reason. That we're just humans on this same crazy ass life path. That, you know, it's like
I love that so much.
I'm not really good with the whole LGBTQ plus thing, and I'm not good with pronouns. I'm just like, oh my God, we just keep more and more labels that just keep highlighting all that it makes us different rather than all that makes us unique. And in that sense, the same, because there's no one going to be the same as you. No one on this planet.
No.
So we should be celebrating our complete uniqueness rather than labeling something to make a point of it being different from something else. I don't know. Everything just feels we're shifting. You know, we're shifting our discriminations elsewhere now, and it just should be about acceptance, love, and tolerance, and acceptance. Like, I don't care how you identify, and I don't mean I don't care in a nonchalant way. Like, I'm pleased that you are living you want to call you she, I'll call you she. That's super cool, absolutely. But I don't have to follow the same, you know, way of rolling. It's just, I'm just Jaden, and I'm just becoming really anti-labels in my old age, and there seems to be more otters, bears, cubs. I couldn't be an otter because I wasn't skinny enough. I couldn't be a bear because I was too pretty, but I couldn't be something else because I had a hairy chest, but I was pretty and still looked younger. So I wasn't able to be a daddy because I looked young, but I was the age of a daddy, but couldn't. And I was just like, fuck, I just want a boyfriend. That's all I want. I just want someone to like me. It's like, done. I don't want no pronouns. I don't want no labels. I'm just Jaden. My religion is Jadenism. I'm the only follower, and I'm just being me, for fuck's sake.
I love
crazy, that, mate.
I really love that.
I think if you have mental health problems, all these things that you're trying to fit into to become socially acceptable, I think just breeds mental health and bloody bipolar shit. It's just, oh my God, how do I fit into this? Because I'm not welcome here, but I'm not welcome here. And I'm Jaden now. This is my...
Yeah, I feel that.
My pronouns are fuck and off. And I'm just happy being the messed up, fucked up human that I am and becoming the best person I can possibly be and getting through this existence with as much colour as possible, mate.
I agree 1,000%. I'm just plugging this in because
I like the foliage. I like the decoration. Oh, that was kind of almost.
I'll show you. I have it in my plant.
I like it. It's almost kind of giving you that tropical look now.
Yeah. I am in a rainforesty type place, but not like your tropical world.
No, you're a bit different from here, probably. But
oh my goodness! Yeah, I gotta part these seas here.
So what's going on for you musically right now?
So basically what I've done, and I apologize to everyone for doing this, I might actually use my phone here. So basically for myself, in terms of music, God damn it. I'm gonna rip this off.
It's all right. I quite like the look, actually.
Okay, that's good. Okay. Yeah. So what I'm doing right now is I decided to force myself into a bit of a writing hiatus. I used to just be in a rush musically because, like we were talking about the whole channeling thing, I was just always like, go, create. And so right now what I've done is I've kind of locked myself into a solitary place, and it's by design / not by design. So I was in a relationship for 9 years, and we had a child together. And it was, and we didn't know each other when I'd found out that he was coming along, and we stuck it out together for a long time, but it just, unfortunately, the relationship didn't work out. We weren't really in love in that way. And it all fell apart about a year ago, and maybe a little longer, which just threw me into this crazy spiral, and I've just kind of been locked away, and I didn't even touch my guitar. I didn't do any music or anything like that, and I completely hid. And all of a sudden the channeling stuff started again, and I was like, I don't have time for you. And then all of a sudden it's like, what happens when you avoid it? You get worse. Mm-hmm. So what I've decided to do is shut myself off of all my old stuff, completely reinvent a new, to represent what I'm going through now. Mm-hmm. And at this moment, I'm working on a new record with my band that I'm about 4 or 5 songs deep now. And for my personal liking, I would say that it reflects what I love in music the most. And I'm kind of like giving it like a no fucks style, like I'm just putting it out as it comes. Yeah. And I'm gonna just basically isolate myself for the next probably 6 months or so. No shows, no playing old music, and just immerse myself in this new feeling. Yeah. And my house, like my little, I also live in a little cabin, and I'm basically, all the artwork on my walls is reflecting that, all of it has to reflect my mental state for this. And I'm trying to invite whatever's trying to channel through me to feel like it can just flow naturally through me. So I'm in this really strange place right now musically, where I'm just waiting for the signals, and then as soon as I get them, I put them out and I write them, and then I bring them to the band. And my band keeps saying to me, so what are we going to do? Like, what's the look going to be? What's the style going to be? What's this? What's that? I'm like, I just don't know right now. Like, at this point, I'm in this place where I would normally rush it and create something for it, even if there wasn't something there. And I'm absorbing it right now, and I'm in this process, and it's wow, like it's been unbelievable, but it's also been kind of uncertain and scary and strange. So yeah, but I'm hoping to have the album done in the next 6 months. And I'm recording as we go. I've got my manager's helping me like line up stuff, and in terms of like where I'm going to mix and master, and I'm getting like new people to mix and master that I would normally work with.
Whole new sounds. Wonderful.
And from every direction, because I want it to reflect what I want rather than what other people think. You know what I mean?
That's really
so.
nice.
I love this stage, but it's also it's hard because you don't know what it's going to even look like. Like, you don't even know what's happening almost. Like, you just put it out and you look at it and you go, okay, that's interesting. But I can't even give you that many words on it really, because it's like still in that process. But
it's like waiting for Christmas. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
You don't know what's wrapped under the tree. I found a potato in the biggest box. So yeah, you just don't know what you're going to get.
You don't know, but I'm excited for it. And, and I'm in that space right now where, I have my manager just waiting for the music and waiting to do her role, because she's in Los Angeles, and she's just like, all right. So like, she keeps checking in. She's really wonderful. And she's from Belfast, Ireland. Okay. And then she moved to LA, and she, and then she separates her time between LA and Canada. And she is just, we've been working together for like 4 years, and she's amazing, but she's just constantly waiting. She's like, when's the new stuff, and checking in there, and it's just like, I'm not there yet.
When it comes, it will come, and then it will be worth the bloody wait.
It'll be worth the wait. So that's where I am right now. And I wanted to say too, like when you were talking about that music that you were talking about, like Finally I and Hold Me Down and all those songs, those were based on a concept record I was writing. And it was a concept of a story I'd written about these two lovers in the South in the US, and just the kinds of shit that they would get into, and this wild story of coming of age and falling in love, even though, it was looked at as, by others as not okay. But it wasn't always like, it wasn't just about that. It was about what we were sort of talking about with labels, how, these two lovers were labeled and discriminated against so much that they rebounded against it, but then they overcorrected.
Yeah.
And they ended up going crazy. So the story was called Lemon Austin Cadence, and that's the name of the character. And it's just, I'm still writing it, but those songs were for that period. Right. So the genres weren't something that I would normally do. I'm not normally into, like, look at Hold Me Down. To me, it's a cheesy ass song that is what was a moment in the story that needed to fit in like this sort of like bonanza, like, the show Bonanza, like dun 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 dun. Like it needed that feeling, because it's a moment of fleeing a moment. And rather than me, being really like focusing on writing from the perspective of, what I would listen to personally, I was I was obsessed with this story. But what happened is I started falling off. Like the story stopped meaning anything to me anymore. And I don't know, like it just felt like it wasn't hitting for me. And so I just said, oh, well, here's a bunch of songs. People seem to like them, and they do have meaning and love. Like Finally I is a personal, one of my favorites, and I love that one. But it was all based on a concept. So this time around with the new record, it's just going to be not a concept at all. It's just going to come out the way it does and in a way that I really love and want it to. And so, yeah, just for reference for those other ones, they're based on like being in a movie or something like that. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
But beautiful, I love them. And so finally, I
Thank you.
must listen to that about 6 times while I was kind of getting everything sorted this morning. Great, beautiful.
Thank you so much.
I had that. It
Thank
should
you.
have been something like a Brokeback Mountain kind of thing. It was like,
Yeah.
yeah, super, super cool. So you've already told me, like, you're literally letting things flow. You're kind of seeing where the music allows you, how it kind of manifests itself. Do you have any secret long-term goals, or are you literally, is it all about the weight now?
Well, my long-term goals for this and the way that I create is I actually relate to you because you have all of these irons in the fire and you're also creating so much like children's books to different forms of creativity. And I think in the long term, my goal is like, obviously, you know, Enya, right? I love Enya. I've always loved Enya since I heard her beautiful music as a child. And I was actually obsessed with the music because to me, Enya, her story, when I heard her story, I was like, you can do that? Like, she never performs, she never tours, ever.
No.
She lives in a fucking castle
Yeah.
in Ireland, and she's this like gothic goddess that just
Absolutely.
who just puts out what she wants and does it the way she wants to do it. She doesn't care about anything to do with the industry other than what she wants to add to it.
And she's a millionairess.
What's that?
She's a millionairess.
She is, you know, but she did it by doing it her way. And like in the few interviews I could find with her and the few things I could see with her, she was just so profoundly herself.
Yeah.
And my long-term goal is to be like you had given me that beautiful advice earlier to really embody and appreciate and also love the channel aspect and love that like be happy that I have that channeling dynamic. But I want to also love that and do that. But I also want to be able to create in a way that embody like where I don't have to be on the road. I don't have to play shows all the time. I don't have to, you know, meet up with my social media person and meet up with my you know, my playlister and my manager and all these people all the time to build and tell me what I have to do.
Yeah.
With my music, like Colin, you're going to need to be on the road. You're going to need to be, you know, touring this much a year, and you need to be, you know, doing this many posts on social media a day, and it gets to a point where that's where I start to lose that flow.
Me too.
And with Enya, I want to be like her. I just want to live in a cabin. I won't have a castle in my life, I know, but I will have cabins, and I want to be a little gothic prince creator that puts out my music at the pace it is to come, and I'm not going to base it on what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to base it on what it will do.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of my secret plan right now.
That's magic. It's not secret now, unfortunately, but
yes,
it's magic. And from your lips to the god and goddess's ears, mate.
Yeah.
This is my dream. That is completely my dream. If I didn't have to sing in the public again with people talking over my music when they talk over my music and stuff, and just create, just breathe and flow and afford my bills. Like I don't care if I don't have a Lamborghini. That's really cool, but I need to be able to feed 23 street animals. So that's something I do.
Yeah.
But and I don't want to be stuck in an office to do that. So I do need my creativity to create that.
You do.
But no, completely. And my dream was always like, I've done pop, I've done, you know, different genres. I really want to put out a spiritual album that is very Enya, etheric, kind of, you know, ethereal kind of vibe. I really want to do like a super spiritual album at some point. This is my dream.
I love that so much. I love those esoteric records, like like Ademus and Enya and what is it? Deep Forest.
Oh yeah. Have you heard
all
of
of that
a guy called
music.
Phil Thornton? I've got a cat that's about to knock my. Oh, it's like
No,
on the screen.
I've never, but I'll have to write this down. What is it?
Yeah,
Phil
Phil
Thornton?
Thornton, and he's got an
Okay.
album. He's got loads of albums, but one of them is called Incantation.
Oh, maybe I have that.
Incantation.
Okay,
Really
Incantation.
lovely. Sorry, I've got
All right.
a cat trying to get by.
No, that's okay. I just wrote this down because
Yeah.
I'm always taking new music ideas because I'm obsessed with that style. I love it so much. I've never created it myself, but from the time I wake up, you'll have Enya or Ademus or Deep Forest or any of those just playing in the background. And it's funny because I'm part of like a community of hardcore punk rock, metal like music. And some people say that I dress like I'm in one of those bands, and I've been in those bands, and I've performed that music, but I'll be at home listening to Enya after screaming in a microphone and cutting myself on stage. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And then you go home to Orinoco Flow.
That's right.
What could be better, quite frankly?
Or Caribbean Blue.
Oh, lovely. I find myself now, like, because obviously I spend a lot of time doing my stuff on YouTube, and now it's probably, it could even be bullshit, and I don't really care because I really like it, but it's like, manifest your dreams in abundance now with this 24-hour tune. That's got hemisync and, you know, tone stuff, tonal magic. I just let that play, and I'm just like, oh, and where I live, like, I just have views of mountains and agricultural lands. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. And so actually all my diet, and I thought, shit, I've really got to learn a new Dua Lipa or Rita Ora track, or, you know, or Jessie Joy, or, you know, Mariachi. And I'm like, oh, I just want to listen. I think I might even like a joss stick or something. I'm going to go all hippie on my own ass. I'm with you, bruv. I'm completely with you.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's been amazing to meet you.
Oh, you too.
Cheers. Like, I hope we stay in touch. That would be super cool. And
I would love that.
I need to know, where can people find you?
You can find me pretty much anywhere on any platform you want. So Spotify, Apple Music, all of those. And you can find me, another place that you can go to find me is Bandcamp. I'm not sure I think it's Canadian, but it's a place where you can like listen to the songs, and if you like them, you can buy the songs if you want to, or you can just listen to them for free, because I don't really care. Like, it's if you just, you know. So bandcamp.com/sailcasady, or I'm not sure how it's put on in the search bar, but just Bandcamp, and then you can search. Yeah, and then eventually, like I was saying to you, the website will be out. It's just being revamped because, like I told you, I don't know what this is going to look like right now. So I don't want it to look like my old stuff. So that's getting revamped. But yeah, look for Sail Cassady, and remember, it's with an A. A lot of people spell it Cassidy, but it's actually Cassady. So people are like, I can't find it, you know. So yeah, so you can find me everywhere on all of those platforms, and I'll have lots of. Next year is going to be filled with new music, new everything.
Bloody music to my ears as well. And obviously, come back and let me know as soon as your website is up and running, and I will reshare that on this particular episode, all the information of this episode as well. So,
thank you.
You are amazing. Thank you for your time today. It's been amazing to meet you. We're going to listen to a bit more. In fact, we're going to listen to Finally I at the end of this show. People at home, you love him, obviously. You need to go and hunt this boy down on all of his social media platforms and music download and streaming platforms too. So before you finish your bacon sandwich and your cup of tea, make sure you've done your homework and gone and followed Sail Cassady with an A in the middle on everything you can possibly find him on. Mate, we are in touch. We will catch up very soon. Maybe even a collaboration. 26.
I would love that.
I'm up for it. You just let me know. That'll be super.
Thank you.
Wonderful. You take care, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you so much.
See you later,
appreciate you.
Bye. Bye. What a wonderful and incredibly talented man. I do hope that you go and follow him on his social media platforms, and don't forget to go and find him on Bandcamp and Spotify as well. Make sure you be adding his songs to your playlists. Absolutely must do. Okay, that's something you must get on with today while you're still on the computer. I hope you have enjoyed this show as much as I have enjoyed making it for you. I cannot wait to see you again next week with another super special person. In the meantime, please subscribe, please share, please tell all your friends, and I will see you with another incredibly wonderful guest on the Jaden Show next Sunday. Take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
They held hands through all the scorn, forbidden laughter at night. Through their windows they press their chest, finally in love with someone who feels right. Held his faith, traced his chin, painted his lips with carbon and shimmering choirs at night. Finally in love with someone who feels right. Can't seem to love me the way that I am. Stood in the doorway, clutching my hand, begging I go back to living a lie. I was your baby. Finally in love with someone who feels right. Guess they won, took him away, peeled off the pain that shivered and withered in blinding light. Then finally in love with someone who felt right. Can't seem to love me the way